Hi and welcome to day 29 of Inktober Tangles Challenge 2022. I'm Anica, a CZT from Croatia. And today we are going to draw a tangle by Yvonne Westover, a Canadian CZT. The name is Avro, which was an aircraft manufacturer in Canada, if I remember correctly. And Yvonne is a flight attendant. You might read the story about how this tangle came to life. You will find the link to the document with all the tangles in the description of this video. And then you can see the step outs and the story about it. And you know, I'm not going to do this tangle, at least not the first one, exactly as the step outs suggest. I will start not with the first line. So this tangle basically has an A shape. So it starts with a line and then you add these curvy shapes on the right side and then basically turn it into letter A. I want to use this shape here, so I will start with this kind of a lazy S. So I just added this curvy line, you know, my type of line, curvy line, and then I will do this triangular shape, and I will add another one. And you can see that they're, you know, reducing in size. And there are many ways that you can use this tangle to draw a radial design, which I'm not going to do, at least not now. And then I will draw this line that will end up forming my letter A. You can see that it's partially hidden behind the poppins flower, which is why I started with this. I wanted to make use of this space. And then, of course, I will add this final line here. I'm thinking about maybe adding something on this side too. Let me try to do a kind of an extension of this line and then an extension of the other line. You see how these might be connected. I think it was an interesting thing to edit. I'm not sure if it was the right thing, so you can always decide if you like it or not, and maybe decide not to use whatever additions I sometimes come up with, or even, you know, you can amend the tangle in a way that pleases your visual senses. Okay. Let me add some more lines. I think I've had enough of this black inked in space on the left side. So I want to add some lines just for a change. And then now I'm thinking about adding another one somewhere. I think I also need to consider this upper right part. And for that, I need my other tile. So what shall I do with this part here? I'm thinking about even maybe adding some Narfello or Quasila. Maybe a Quasila would be a good idea for this kind of space. Let me just add quickly or not, another Quasila here. Okay. Well, this is exactly, you know, what I would do if I was tangling alone. Okay, Quasila is not a tangle of the day, but I'm working on a bigger piece here and I want everything to look nice, hopefully. You know, it's not the ultimate reason for doing this challenge, but if you know, invest your time and energy into something, you want to be pleased with it. And this is what the last step of the Zentangle method is: appreciation. You know, you can appreciate the joy that you had in the process, but you also want to appreciate a piece of art that you created. So here's my Quasila to fill this space on the upper part, but I'm still thinking about maybe adding one Avro, but I'm not sure if I will and where. Let me do this. I will rotate this and then maybe add another one. So starting with a lazy S, let's call it like that. I think I heard somebody from the US calling it a lazy S, and it kind of does look like a lazy S, so I like the name. And then, of course, again, look how nicely it aligns with this here. And of course, I need this line to make it look like an A. And I have the space between the two tangles that I'll just fill with lines. Not anymore, because we'll have another tangle tomorrow and I want to see what comes next. Maybe I will squeeze something in the space between the two tangles again. So some inking in right here, and then I need to shade and highlight. But the thing that I'm thinking about is this space below the A. Maybe it would be just best to, you know, fill it with shades and highlights. I think I'll do some rounding just to make this a little bit more visible, powerful, so that it maybe looks like it's glued to these sides of the letter A. And now I'll start with the shading. So I'll shade below each of these, so maybe try to create a 3D effect. I'm adding shade here below as well. So I'll first finish shading the first one and then I'll jump to the second one, and maybe there will be something in the first one that I will maybe not like as much, or maybe I'll have another idea about how I might do it. This is why I will do the shading of the other one after I'm done with this one. So I'm just thinking about what to do with this first. Try to be consistent with the positioning of shades and highlights. So now I will rotate the tile, which of course you don't have to do. For me, it's just easier to use the highlights like this. And I want to have some here, this part too. Then some light blending, and you can see that I didn't use it over the black line of the letter A, because I would just mute it, and I want it still to look like letter A. I will extend this white line with my jelly roll, and of course I'll also add some white highlights with the jelly roll to these receding shapes. It looks kind of cool, you know, 3D, right? Let me do shading and highlighting on this additional quasila that I just drew right here. Okay, I think I'm done with quasila. It's small, doesn't have too much space to add some details, you know, when I shade or highlight. And it's really, it looks so dark and bold, these quasila shades. I'll get back to Avro now. I think that I might maybe just retrace these lines, because it seems to me like they are muted now after I used shades and highlights on them. I want them to be bold and dark, and also this one. And now I have this other shape. Oops, I'm sorry about that. I have this other shape right here, and I'll actually do the same, so I won't do say in English, you know, discovering hot water. Maybe it's just a Croatian thing to say. So, you know, I will use the same principle to shade and highlight it, same as the one on top. The difference, of course, being this part that I added on the other side. I will add some shade below the shape here, and of course do the blending, and then take my white pencil to do the highlighting. I would advise you to look at Yvonne's website and other ideas how to use this tangle, because we have just scratched the surface with this basic shape, and there are so many ways that you can use it, especially in some kind of a radial design, as I said. I think I will add a highlight right next to the bottom line. And of course, with my white jelly roll, I will do some shiniest highlighting. And fill in this border too. While it's here, what else can I do with it? I was too quick at adding it. And with that, I think I'm done with Tangle Avro. Maybe a few more lines, just retrace them, create a little bit more contrast, especially if my old lines are muted. Yes, definitely, I'm definitely finished. Oh, maybe I'm not. Let me just try to add like a really thin highlight on this bottom part here. And with that, I am done for today. Join me tomorrow if you wish. I will be there with day 30. So 2 more days and we're done. Woohoo! Thank you for joining with me. Bye.